The alleged instigator and Twitter influencer Zamaswazi Majozi is set to reappear before the court on the 18th of October. This is after the Germiston Magistrate Court granted her bail yesterday. Police claim that her tweet prompted the burning as well as the looting of Brookside Mall in KwaZulu-Natal. Joining us now to explain her case is her attorney, Mr. Andries Nkome. And Mr. Nkome, a very good afternoon to you and thank you for your time today. Could you give us a little bit of background regarding this case as well as the accusations against your client?
Good afternoon and thanks for having me. I will not delve much into the detail of the matter, save for that our client is charged with an offense of having incited violence and the burning of a mall by her tweet. And I think it will be everybody else's guess that she says she stays in one part of Gauteng, whilst the mall that is alleged to have been burnt and looted is way away, far away from where she stays. So there is no, essentially, connection between her tweet and the resultant burning and looting of the mall.
Is there any sort of evidence that is there that has been presented that points to this direct link?
Look, I think everybody understands the elements of an offense of incitement. There ought to be somebody that comes out and says, as a result of this tweet, I took it upon myself. I felt influenced that I should go and conduct this unlawful event. And as of now, I can tell you that the state will not be able to produce any such person that says, I've been influenced by this particular individual to go and burn.
According to your client and the tweets that she did give out, is there anywhere in those tweets where she does in any way encourage people to go and to loot or to go and to destroy property? Is there a record perhaps of such in any of her previous tweets?
Look, it will be going into the merits of the matter, but client denies at all having incited anyone to go and loot. I think I was even giving an example yesterday to somebody to say that we know some email that had been sent out way back in 2012 by the president and says that I characterize this dispute as a criminal act and therefore the police must act with committed action. That justifies and can qualify as incitement, but not this where somebody just writes on a Twitter account and says, I have got an opinion about what's transpiring in the country.
We saw Karl Niehaus coming out. He released a statement on Sunday. He spoke as well yesterday outside the courts, saying that this is a politically motivated case. What is your client's standpoint regarding this?
Look, I have not been privy to my client's view in relation to whether or not this is political. And I think that best placed people like Karl Niehaus will be the ones that goes and answers that and determines as to, according to them, why would they say this is political.
Talk to us about the role that Twitter has played in this. Did Twitter at any point before the arrest of Ms. Majozi flag any of her comments and label them as perhaps incitement of violence?
One of the points that we have is that if you post anything that is untoward on a social account, the operator essentially closes off your account. So we also saw that even as at yesterday, the same account had been opened and it had not been flagged. There were so many people that went out and also supported the very same views simply because it is not incitement.
And how did the police find her? How did they trace her?
Look, we do not know exactly as to how the police went about sourcing her. Save for that, we also know that there were so many people that shared the same sentiment, and if the police had to go all out and arrest people, it would have been hundreds and hundreds of people. So we don't know as to how then would they go and choose her, despite the fact that so many other people expressed the sentiment.
And how is Ms. Majozi doing today?
I should say it now. that she was arrested by an elite crime-fighting organization. And they came out and denied her very, very basic human rights. Like, it was very, very difficult for us to end up seeing her. And this will be a matter that plays out in front of the courts to say, how do you say you've given a person a fair trial if you have allowed her a very basic human right, which is a right to legal representation? So all of that has left her very shaken. She has not been able to get it from her attorney why she's supposed to spend a night in jail, when we had told the husband that would be able to, because it's a Schedule 1 offense, we should be able to approach the investigating officer and come up with bail. So her rights from scratch have been severely prejudiced.
And what is going to go into your preparation for your next court appearance?
It is the duty of the prosecution to prove its case against our client. And if they had been saying that the case is solid against our client, they would by now be saying we are done with investigations. So for them to be asking for further remands, it just informs you that there is scant work that has gone into their preparation for this case. I would wish to see that day where they say that they've been able to prosecute somebody successful on such charges. But let justice take its course.